So here's Miami's starting group. LeBron James is out there with Chalmers. Then there's Dwayne Wade. Then there's Chris Bosh. And it's Anthony in at the 5, roaming the paint. And for Indiana, Granger, Hansbrough, and Hibbert are the front court. Paul George is out there with Collison. And Anthony gets it to go.
That is a terrific play. You hear me? A terrific play. I call that a room service dime because all he had to do was catch and finish.
And Chalmers kicks to Bosh. High post try. It's rebounded by Indiana.
And what I love about Danny Granger is he's really good at both ends of the floor. A versatile defender. He can rebound. And, of course, offensively, he's dynamic.
Here's LeBron. Roy Hibbert picking up that last basket. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, I spoke briefly with Eric Spoelstra. He was quick to praise the work his players have been doing on the defensive end, and he thinks that will make the difference this evening. When it's smart defense versus smart offense, the defense usually wins. Guys?
Thank you very much, Doris. So it's mainly Clark and Steve about defense for them early on.
Well, you know what I mean. It's pretty simple. The fewer points you allow, the fewer you have to score for yourself. I mean, that's elementary.
Yeah, and particularly in this game, I think it makes sense. I mean, establish the defensive end of the floor, try to convert some buckets in transition off your defense, and try to take control of the game that way.
You know, the one thing that's held Danny Granger back early in his career, he's had some injury issues to deal with.
Yeah, he has, but last season I thought he was pretty healthy, and he carried the burden for the Pacers offensively. If he can get a little help in that area, though, I think it would serve him very well.
No good on the free throw.
Well, you have to love what Tyler Hansbrough brought to the Pacers a season ago. The progress he made coming out of North Carolina was really impressive. He's a tough player, competes hard, and his offensive efficiency is impressive.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Brandon Rush, he's checked in for Paul George. And George Hills subbed in for Darren Collison. Now we're going to get to Tyler Hansbrough that Steve was just talking about, that you work with in Indiana with the Pacers. His NBA career got off to a tough start when he suffered a serious ear infection that gave him vertigo and affected his balance for quite a while. It was kind of scary.
It really was scary because it took a while to diagnose exactly what was going on with Tyler. And once that was cleared up, he got the treatment and had to stay away from physical activity for a long time. But he was back healthy last season. And I tell you what, you love the way this kid approaches it. Low maintenance, hard working, tenacious and wanting to get better, and really raises the level of intensity of his team in practice and in games. And I think he's going to be a really good player going forward.
A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through one. It's the Heat. They lead by 5. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. Here's Hill. So with LeBron on the bench, this is who Eric Spoelstra has on the floor. They've got House. Haslam's out there with Chris Bosh. Then there's Dwayne Wade. And it's Anthony in at the center. Here's Bosh. Haslam, the pass to House. Over Hill. Wade, good. Wade's got the first points up on the board here in the second quarter for the Heat. Miami on D.
Well, you knew Miami would be a new big power in the East with the big 3 in tow. They didn't disappoint, blowing right by their conference win total from the prior season.
Anthony against Hill. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. Yeah, Clark, what you were saying before, the Heat before LeBron and Bosh won 32 games in all. But with them on board, they won 38 games. Steve, very nice number.
Yeah, and that 38 was only bested by the Bulls' 39 Eastern Conference wins. So Miami really handled its business well last year.
And the second free throw, good.
Well, you look at this Pacers roster, a nice young blend of talent and size, some versatility. They had the flexibility this past summer to add some other nice players. So this team seems to be on the rise.
They're moving the ball. Pass to Granger. They get a hand on it. 4 on the clock. Hill, no good. And you know, as Steve was just saying about the youth and options for this Indiana team, we were already able to see some of that impact in last year's playoffs.
And that was so important, Kevin, for the team to get to the playoffs, to be able to show the fans that passion and hard work and competitive spirit and promise of the young players. And I think for the fans, it was a case of everybody starting to see that there's new hope in store for the Indiana Pacers going forward.
Unable to get the ball in bounds, they get called for the 5-second violation. Some changes for Indiana. Tyler Hansbrough checked in for Josh McRoberts. Rush comes in for Danny Granger. And it's Collison in for George Hill. And then for Miami, Mike Miller's checked in for Joel Anthony. LeBron comes in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Chalmers in for Eddie House.
Well, Miami had such a turbulent season last year as far as the drama that surrounded that team. But they were consistent and steady on the road, and they ended up with the best away record in the Eastern Conference.
He's off on the second. And back to Miami, you know, Clark, road trips aren't easy when you're the villains of the NBA, and there's no doubt that wanted poster in the NBA has got a picture of that Miami threesome up there, huh?
I agree, no doubt about it, but I think that also helped them come together. You know, teams typically do a good job of bonding when they're on the road. That us against them mentality, nobody for you, and quite honestly, really good teams and players enjoy winning on the road more than they do even winning at home.
Here's Hansbrough. And there are the Pacers with another bucket.
A nice piece of work there. Find a little space and pull the trigger.
7 seconds left to play here in the half. Bosch, Hansbrough defending. And again, it's the Heat missing.
I'm not sure why he's fading away. He could have gone straight up for that shot. He would have had a better chance of making it.
D-Wade playing well. 6 points and a steal.
Heat.
Time now for the HP Halftime Report this Tuesday. Let's get right into it.
History in the making, ain't you feeling it? Steve Flo, they say I'm on some shows.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far.
Baseball, killing it. Yeah, I'm so awesome.
Here's Collison. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. On the court for Indiana, Granger, Hansbrough, and Hibbert are the front court. Collison is out there with Paul George. Stolen by Bosch.
I think he baited him on that pass. Very savvy defense.
Inside Leaner. Anthony's shot is off. Pacers trail by 4.
Well, the Pacers historically have always been tough on their home court. And last season was no different. 24-17 in Indianapolis. One of the reasons the Pacers made the playoffs.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Kevin, when LeBron James joined Dwayne Wade in Miami, some were concerned about whether there'd be enough shots to keep both happy. What folks didn't realize is that LeBron has always preferred to be more of a playmaker than primary scorer. He grew up admiring Magic Johnson, and that was the role he wanted. In Miami, with his offensively talented running mates, his great vision and basketball IQ is more valuable than ever, and he can focus on his all-around game rather than carrying an offense. Guys?
Always good to spread the load. Thanks, Doris.
And I think that enabled James to excel defensively.
And that's the thing with LeBron. I mean, he's one of those do-it-all superstars. Even if he doesn't score every point, I mean, he can impact the game in every facet.
Well, Clark, you know all about this Indiana team being in their front office. Dead last in attendance last season, averaging just a little over 13,000 fans. But the team gave the diehard fans something to care about with the playoff experience.
Yeah, they certainly did, and hopefully that'll catapult more fans into coming back to Conseco. In 2001, the team averaged almost 18,000 fans. If the team gets back to contention, you know Indiana loves basketball, and those fans will be back.
We've got 13 seconds left here in the third quarter. Granger gets the reach-in call. That's his first foul. Here's LeBron. Fires for three, and that one's good. LeBron's now got 6.
Well, the defense has to commit so much attention to him. He's just an important part of this offense.
Rush from outside. And a great show through 3 quarters as we enter the 4th. Who will... While we're still getting underway here in the 4th, let's go down to Doris Burke, who has our Sprite Spark of the Game report. Doris?
Well, Kevin, for that great stretch the Heat just put together, they get the Sprite Spark Award. That offensive boom they had to start things off has carried them, and they haven't looked back since as they have made the most of their early scoring bursts.
Okay, Doris, thank you. And that run, Clark, really changed the complexion of this game.
Yeah, it sure did. I thought it stirred something up in them that got them on a good run.
Yeah, got the ball rolling for them, and they were able to keep it going from there, guys.
So with Bosh on the bench, this is who Erik Spoelstra has on the floor. Mike Miller is out there with Haslam. Then it's LeBron James. Then there's Ilgauskas. And it's House in at the point. There's Miller with the 3. The shot is off. And Indiana will go the other way with it. Fires from 14. And once again off the mark by Indiana. LeBron James on the wing. Defended by Dunleavy.
You know, it's really the kind of game you expect from him, guys. I mean, extremely efficient. Taking a lot of good shots.
Shot from the wing. And it's a little long.
Great close out there, forcing the errant shot.
Well, he made it a tough shot again. He didn't give up on it, and he got a hand up.
Miller, that's for 2. The Pacers pull it in. 1:11 left in the game. Tipped and stolen by LeBron.
That's like a Hail Mary pass in football. Too risky.
Turnover. Pacers ball.
.104 left in the 4th quarter. Hansbrough dishes to Hill. He dishes it to Hansbrough. On the wing, Hill, moving it around. Foster. Shot clock at 6. Dunleavy kicks to Hill, and it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Roy Hibbert's checked in for Foster. Granger comes in for Mike Dunleavy. Paul George, he's checked in for Brandon Rush. And it's Collison in for George Hill. The Heat also changing it up. Chris Bosh is checked in for Ilgauskas. Wade comes in for Mike Miller. And it's Chalmers in for Eddie House. The dish to Chalmers. It's taken away by Collison. Shoots a 3. It's hauled in by LeBron. T-Wade on the wing. Granger covering. And that one's good. And the Heat lead by 11.
Looks like it's over. Double-digit margin, clock running down. Just take care of the ball now.
Yep, it's a simple equation. This one's over. Use the clock and take care of the on.
Here's Collison.
That's going to do it. I don't think they have enough time here now.
This one's in the books.
Feeds it to George. Dishes it to Hansbrough. Hibbert with it. He goes up, goes to the reverse layup and drops it in.
Man, he shows us he knows how to finish with a flourish.
And so it's Miami winning this one. It was a solid win, Clark.
Yeah, it was, and I think it came down to will more than skill. They went out and got this one.
Well, that'll do it.